Hello, everybody. I'm Larry Ridley. Welcome to the NFL on EA Sports. Some adverse conditions gritting both teams as they take the field in what will be a very wet stadium. Rain is falling, and it's going to be interesting to see just how heavily it factors into this game. It's the Broncos going up against the Buccaneers. So now let's head on over to rainy Raymond James Stadium in Tampa as we welcome in our announcing crew of Brandon Guyton and Charles Davis.
Larry, it's something that Floridians are all too familiar with as the rain continues to fall here at Raymond James Stadium in Tampa. Coming up, we've got a good matchup on tap between the Denver Broncos and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Hi again, everyone. Brandon Guyton alongside Charles Davis. And Charles, you take a look at this Buccaneer ball club. Now, losers their last time out, so they'll look to make amends here.
And one of the best ways you can do that is to be at home, and they are. They're going to try and ride that home crowd and that wave of emotion to a victory in this one.
Meanwhile, the visiting Broncos, 2-1-2 teams, each hoping to get back to 500, and we're underway in Week 4. This is taken near the 13. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. So out come the Bucs now for their first drive. They'll be led out by a former Pro Bowl quarterback out of the University of Georgia, Matthew Stafford.
Matthew Stafford is a big-arm guy who's learned how to temper some of his throws. Actually has added a lot more touch and accuracy as his career has gone along. Big-time confidence in his arm, though. Any throw you want, he can make it.
The first carry now for Doug Martin. And he'll be tackled at about the 35. 5 yards is the tally on first down. That brings up 2nd and 5. Here's the offense, and highlighted as a guy who gave himself his own nickname, the Dugginator.
Brandon, you really can't nickname yourself, but if he keeps running at this level, they'll have plenty of good nicknames to choose from.
And after the play on the ground, that brings up 2nd down here. Here's Stafford now on 2nd down. And he floated one out there incomplete. Torrey Smith, the intended receiver. And it's 3rd down. And here's a look at the defense for Denver.
Robert Quinn gets to the quarterback as well as any defensive end in the league. A lot of it goes back to his high school wrestling background. He understands leverage and hands as well as anyone.
Third play here, this opening drive, as they're up against a 3rd and 5.
Here we go, D. All day, defense. Slam.
From the gun on 3rd down, Stafford. And incomplete here on 3rd down.
We know it's not an easy job to go out and catch passes when people are trying to tackle you and knock the ball away. But the bottom line is, that's a pass he's got to have and a pass he should have caught.
And that'll hit in the end zone. Much too much leg there. That'll be a touchback. So here are the Broncos now for their opening drive. And leading him out, their veteran quarterback. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. And it's hauled in by Ed Dixon. And he'll get this up to the 30-yard line. It's a 10-yard pickup, and it moves the chains.
That throw has to be a quarterback's dream, doesn't it? Big tight end, curling in the middle of the field, so it's great sight lines for him. And when they show their numbers back to the quarterback, when they sit down right there, that should be pitch and catch.
Give him 7 on the play, and it'll bring up a 2nd down. So here, the men in charge are going to be looking at whether or not the receiver had possession of the ball as he went out of bounds.
And they have to make sure that the receiver got both feet down in bounds as well.
sure as a coach, when you throw the flag, you hold your breath, then you get the verification you were right, a sigh of relief.
Not only a sigh of relief.
Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Stephon Gilmore. And his guys are going to get the football at their own 47-yard line. And now the Buccaneers offense gets set to head back onto the field. And they'll certainly be trying to do better than that first drive where they went 3 and out.
And sometimes the first drive is just simply to settle nerves. You know what it's like at the start of a game with the emotion. Guys are a little bit jumpy.
You do.
Oh, you understand the same way. It's just like us calling one, right? Making sure we ease into the game, let it come to us.
Well, you went 3 and out.
And now they have that opportunity.
No, you didn't go 3 and out. I went 3 and out on that first drive. I'll try to do better here. To the sideline, and a nice catch there. Made sure the feet were inbounds, and they were. So they complete the pass, and now they face a second down.
All right, say it with me now. There's a lot of different words we come up with. Maybe we go back and forth after that play, getting his toes tapped down to make that catch. Crafty.
Yep.
Wiley. Oh, definitely.
All the veteran names.
You name it. Has every move in the book and continued to get better throughout his career so he can make that type of a catch.
So now a 3rd and 7, and defensively, it's a dime look. 6 DBs. Throwing on 3rd down. Stafford. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
Partner, how many times have you heard it? Pressure creates diamonds, right? But it also bursts pipes. And on that one, that's what they got. They got after him, and he was fortunate just to get rid of it.
Yeah, he just had to chuck it away. And did he have enough? He did. He kept it on line and managed to tuck it into the bottom right corner. And the Bucs take a 3-0 lead. A little bit of a lower trajectory there on the deep kick, and it worked.
Had to do it because he had to drive it out low because of the length of the kick. Able to do that, got it above the defense and over the post.
Here's the Denver offense now as they get set to take over here. And following the interception, we'll see what they can put together on this drive.
I can hear my old college coach right now. He always used to tell us before every game, the team making the fewest mistakes will win. With their
trying to get it to Jackson, and it's intercepted. Picked off by the rookie Tavon Young. And he'll return this ball across midfield to the 47-yard line. And Tampa Bay trots out there now. And fortunate to get points on the board last time. They had to hit a really long field goal to do so.
The kickers in today's game are so good and so skilled and hit from distances that we almost start to take them for granted. And we can't do that. That's a long field goal that they got 3 points out of. They've got to feel good about that, and they better make sure they love him up because he's helped them out.
Yeah, now we'll see if that offense can put 6 on the board here. We'll see. To throw is Stafford. Over the middle to Smith. And he's going to get this down near the 20-yard line. 15 yards through the air and a first down. First down coming there on the intermediate passing play. That's been a point of emphasis, they told us in practice, using those medium routes to keep the defense off balance.
And it wasn't just them telling us. We got to watch them practice it and work on it because they've been trying to fine-tune it and get it right before this game. And I think they have to be happy with the result.
And, boy, they had high praise for this rookie receiver when we asked the coaches about him, didn't they?
They certainly did, and obviously they liked his measurables, otherwise they wouldn't have brought him onto the team.
And he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Buccaneers. Doug Martin, his first touchdown on the year. And the Buccaneers here finding a way to stretch their lead. There are several elements to a well-executed screen pass. This one resulted in a touchdown. It had all of those elements.
Yeah, you're so right because you really need the rush to almost get to the quarterback, almost get to the passer. Then you've got to get the ball thrown perfectly, whether it's to the running back, the wide receiver, whoever the screen guy is. And, of course, the blocking has to form in front to get him downfield for the touchdown.
The Bronco offense now set to come back out onto the field. And last time wasn't pretty. One play and an interception. We'll see if they can do better.
I want to see if they want to go ahead and throw the ball again now on this drive after what happened on the last one. Throw it on the first play. Give the quarterback some confidence.
See what happens.
First play of the drive. Let's give credit all around. Excellent blocking, but the guy carrying the ball, he was the finisher. A really nice run.
On play action, they'll throw. It's caught right side, Dixon. And he fumbled it. It's on the ground. But this will get out of bounds, so possession will stay the same. And the offense lining up 1st and 10.
Now I have to admit, partner, that I've often thought that I don't like this rule. Where the offensive player fumbles the ball, it goes out of bounds, and they get to keep it.
That's just because you're a defensive guy. That's why you don't like it.
Yeah, you're right. It is a slanted view, isn't it?
But this is where, for the offensive team, the sideline is their friend. Usually it's not there for him.
Yeah, exactly right. I actually played for a guy in college. You know what he used to name the sideline? Sammy. Sammy sideline, and use him well.
The NFL on EA Sports is brought to you by Head & Shoulders. Shoulders were made for greatness, not dandruff.
Back alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. It's Bronco football to begin quarter number 2. They've got a second down and 8 to start things out. Again, they run with Gurley. And he's going to be hemmed in and brought down right at the line of scrimmage. Cedric Thornton, the one that got him down. So 3rd and 7 and an extra defensive back on the field here.
Definitely want to play coverage here. The best defensive linemen, they play with great leverage so they can get low and not get bowled over by offensive linemen. They have excellent hands. They can throw people off on a play. We just saw a great example of a really good run stop by a guy playing the defensive tackle position. Well, it wasn't a big strike, but that completion put them in really great range. What do we have now, 4th and inches?
Yeah, it's not more than a half a foot.
You know what I would do here?
You would always go for it.
I'm one of those guys.
Now the Buccaneers offensive unit back out on the field. And they'll just simply be looking to build off the confidence of the last time out where they scored a touchdown.
Man, confidence is powerful, isn't it? When you've scored once, you feel like you can go back out there and get it done again. Doesn't matter what the defense throws at them. They feel like they're in a groove right now, and they want to get out there and show it.
Yeah, hoping to stay in that groove here this go-around.
Rashad Perryman is just gifted athletically, and I know we got a scare back in, what was it, June? We thought maybe a second knee injury, might miss a second year, but he came back, and he came back strong.
He played with his dad, didn't you?
Yeah, I played against his dad in college, and he turned out to be a heck of an NFL player. But Rashad, he's got a chance to really be special. An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target. He's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Pernell McPhee coming hard that time. He's able to run him down for a loss of 12. The Broncos going dime. 2 extra defensive backs for 3rd down.
Playing pass all the way.
Here's Stafford. Throwing right, and that's complete. 19 yards that time for number 19.
And that's how you pick up a first down. Not only does he make the catch, but has enough body control to get his feet down inbounds, toe tapping and dragging to make sure he gets it done.
It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up 2nd down. 2 minutes to go here in the first half. We'll come back to Tampa after this timeout. Back now. As I search for my cue card here, there we go. Coming up at halftime, Larry Ridley will join us from Orlando. He'll have highlights and analysis from our first half of play.
Low red.
Oh, thank you. On 2nd down, here's Stafford. Quick throw, that's complete on the inside slant. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing, playing against a good quarterback like he is, to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front, defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield.
Here's Stafford now on 2nd down. And this one's incomplete. He was trying to go to Aaron Dobson that time. And it's 3rd and 5.
3rd and 5, so they bring in an extra defensive back.
An expecting pass. To the air again, Stafford. They set up the screen to Martin. And he takes it down to the 13 and picks up the first. 5 yards is the pickup there as that extends this drive. Well, they've had a great, impressive drive going here, and that pickup ensures the drive continued.
Not only do you continue the drive, which is demoralizing for the guys on the defense.
Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. Well, just play after play after play on this long drive for the offense.
Hey, watch the slant.
Set, Luaney.
Again, it's Stafford. And he holds it in for the Buccaneer touchdown. Torrey Smith, his first touchdown on the year. And the Bucs are going to add on to their lead.
I heard a coach talk about those late-in-the-half scores, especially ones that give your team a pretty decent cushion. He said those could be the ones that could finish off a squad if you let them.
Yeah, they've got the cushion. This half has been theirs. Fairly short kick, taking it to 14 here. And a nice return sets them up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. So the Broncos coming out now. And what do you think goes on here in this situation? If you got the football, you're trailing, you're back in your own territory with just a little time. Do you try something?
You're thinking about jump-starting your team, right? You just mentioned it. They're down. They're trying to get back into the game. But you got to figure, if something goes wrong, you may have put yourself in a spot where you may not be able to come back in the second half. Managing risk, this is a big decision here.
Unable to connect on the first down pass play. Now it's second down.
Let's go.
Now they'll throw here out of the gun. And Dixon has it. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. They'll look to throw. Completes it to Dixon. And he'll get up near the 45. They'll spot it at the 44. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime. They'll set up a throw. He's got time. Oh, hit as he throws there, incomplete.
Holding offense.
And that right there will set him back a bit on the offensive holding penalty.
And you know who you want to pressure after a penalty like that? The guy who just committed the foul. You want to see if he's going to keep his head down or if he's going to get his head right back into the game. I'd send a blitz at him right away and see if he holds up.
Dumps it off to Gurley. Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. And with halftime on the horizon, they'll be out of timeouts from here forward. Now back to throw. And that'll be incomplete with 11 seconds remaining now. He was looking for Todd Gurley, and now it's 4th down.
Everything about that play tells you about today's NFL offenses and what they're asking out of running backs. You can't just be a guy who can run the football. You have to be able to catch it as well, and he didn't get that done on that play.
And a great job on special teams to down it, as this will be marked out inside the 5-yard line.
Roger, Roger. Hey, here we go. Watch the pass. Watch the pass.
Hey, 54.
And with time running down, they go down to a knee. So we've hit halftime here in Tampa with the Bucs out in front. As we send you cross-state to Orlando to check in with Larry Ridley. He's got our EA Sports Halftime Report.
Thanks, Brandon. I'm Larry Ridley, and welcome to our EA Halftime Report. The Buccaneers wanted to put last week's game behind them, and they have so far today. The Broncos are in a tough spot, but will look to force some mistakes and stay in it. All right, let's do it. Here's a look at the first half highlights. First and 10, here the defense will come up with a pick. Young's the one who makes the pick to give a boost to his defense. Offense on the field now after the pick. The pass will be completed into coverage, and a quick 3-play drive ends with a score, pushing the lead to 10. Puck Buccaneers have it on 2nd and 5. Matthew Stafford would squeeze the pass in here, and it ends up working for a touchdown. The lead grows to 17. So that'll do it for us here in Orlando. For the call of the second half, let's hand it back over to Brandon and Charles. Brandon.
This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And they'll put up the stop sign there as his guys will get it at the 25. Here comes the defensive unit now for the Buccaneers onto the field. They look good in the first half. They'll be looking to carry that momentum over into half number 2.
Finish a game the way you started it. That's typically the message at halftime when things are going well. You've done everything you're expected to do. How about a little bit more of that in the second half? But be aware they may throw something different at you to begin things.
Yeah, 50% of the equation still left to go. They'll set up to throw toward the center of the field, but it's incomplete. And until that point, we haven't seen Julio Jones. That's hard to believe here this late in the game.
And no one more frustrated than Julio Jones because receivers feed off of catches. That's their fuel, and that's also...
And he's going to be intercepted a third time. Picked off by Bashaud Breeland. And to the 43. So down inside the 45 to the 43-yard line. That's where they'll take over. Here comes the Buccaneers offense. They'll get their first reps of the second half. After the interception, here's Stafford. He's got time in the pocket. Looking deep downfield. And a scary incompletion. Almost picked off. It would have been their first INT of the game. Instead, second down. Well, so they just got the football on an interception. They almost gave it right back the same way.
And you know, when you look over to the bench after that type of a play, number one is pure relief. Didn't give it up. But it's not the coach you're worried about yelling at you. It's those guys on defense who just intercepted the pass who want to break over there. Hey, take care of the football, man. Sometimes the most effective routes are the ones that you run in the backyard, and you probably ran them when you were 5 years old. How about a little curl there against zone? But the key to it is finding the open spots in the zone. How a linebacker or a defensive back will widen to give you space. Find that area and let your quarterback hit you.
The play clock's running down. And that is no good. Oh, he missed it just wide of the upright. And this score will stay right where it is.
I tell you, it's not easy kicking field goals in the best of conditions. Yet in a downpour like we're in right now, it makes it that much harder. And sure enough, they can't convert here.
Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. Bringing it in. Jackson left side. And he gets this down deep into Tampa Bay territory. A big play there on the catch and run. 53 yards.
Okay, what can't Deshaun Jackson do? All right, we know about the catches. We just saw another one there. Also gets involved in the return game.
And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. The former Broncos scored a touchdown for him in the Super Bowl. Malik Jackson in there to get him for a loss of 5. They're going to look to throw. His pass caught at the 4. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Denver score. Tyrell Williams, his second touchdown on the season. And the Broncos get a bit closer. As a former DB, you might not like to see that, but from a wide receiver's perspective, those are the plays they dream of.
Correct on both counts, all right? Because once he took off, I mean, let's face it, that should have been done in Big Sky Country. Aren't any speed limits out there? And off he went. Glad I wasn't the one trying to chase him.
This is taken just shy of the 10 here. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. And Tampa Bay trots out there now. Last time out, they had that long 50-plus yard field goal that they missed.
And I'm sure on their sideline, they're thinking to themselves, okay, do we still want to try one if we're in that position again? And I would dare say that the answer would be yes. They're going to have a lot of confidence in their kicker. But just to be on the safe side, I'm sure they told their offensive guys, can we get a little bit closer this time?
Closer.
Yeah, well, you know, I'd rather get in the end zone first and foremost. But if all else fails, less of a field goal attempt for him.
Play clock winding down. Now it's Stafford. Quick hitter here, it's complete. A gain of 4 that time as the drive continues.
And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him, because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
He really does, and the best part about that play for him, I don't think that was his primary target.
I don't think so either.
I think he had the read, figured out where the blitz was coming from, and went to a secondary target for a really nice game.
And just a small glimpse there as to why they like this rookie so much.
And that's why they lit up a little bit in our meetings with the coaching staff, didn't
Yeah,
they?
when we talked about him, they did. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. Pernell McPhee from his outside linebacker spot. He comes up to drop him for a loss of 10. Here's Stafford now on second down. And that'll be incomplete.
Now, we talk about players blitzing all the time. I often laugh and sometimes call it just straight-ahead pursuit. What a running start right back to the backfield for him.
Yeah, it really didn't give anybody a chance to get up there and stop him.
No, I mean, that's really, really difficult. You're asking a whole lot anyway, but when he gets that kind of a start and comes through clean, oftentimes the advantage definitely goes to the defensive player.
And he dropped it. Now it was tipped. Altered the ball a little bit, but he dropped it. And now fourth down.
So much of this game is about leverage. We always talk about low man wins in the trenches. Well, it's like that in just about every position. And sometimes, if you lose that leverage and you're losing the battle, just jump up at the line of scrimmage and try and bat the ball away. And that's exactly what happened there.
He'll come out throwing here on first down. Caught on the right side by Jones. And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line. We have played 3 quarters. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now in Tampa. It's the Broncos trailing, but they do have possession of the football as we begin quarter number 4. To throw now on first down. Toward the sideline, and look at that catch. Dragging the toes, and that's going to be a first down. Well done.
Let's make this one simple. What a catch, especially the finishing part of getting his feet in bounds, toe tapping, and of course, foot dragging.
Little tapestry, if you will.
Oh, I like it.
And he finds a man with a crossing route. A good pickup there, a 22.
And when an offense is doing a nice job selling the play-action pass, a lot of responsibility shifts to the linebackers. They're the ones that have to determine run or pass and get to the proper places on the field.
And it's caught over the middle. Wilson. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. You give them 15 more, and it's another first down. And there they went crossing route against the zone defense. What do you think of that?
Takes real coordination between the passer and the receiver, because you've got to read those zones and where the open spots are and be on the same page with the guy throwing the football. Because sometimes you're throwing it in front of the zone. Sometimes you're throwing it between the zones. Sometimes the receiver's going to just kind of find a spot and what we call sit down and present himself to the quarterback and throw it there. It's a tough read, but when they're in sync, it's really effective.
False start, offense.
Following the penalty, it's Gurley. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. Give him 6 on the play, and all of a sudden here, it's third down.
Well, as the play call comes in on third down, you have to think about 4-down territory here. Down a few touchdowns, they need points, and they need big points.
They'll go to the air here on 3rd and 2. Completes it to Dixon. And he is into the end zone for a Denver touchdown. Ed Dixon, his first touchdown on the year. And the Broncos draw a bit closer. And this one through the uprights and good. So on 3rd and medium, they dial up the pass, and it works to hit the end zone.
And it's really not a surprise to me. That's a throwing down in the NFL because of how tough it is to run the football. But what offenses like to do is still show run formations to make them respect it and throw out of those. In this case, they took a nice shot at the end zone and made it pay off.
Getting set to go again, Matthew Stafford trots back onto the field. And the passing game, I mean, look at the numbers. It's fallen off. When a team is struggling, sometimes you look at the quarterback. When the quarterback starts to struggle, who goes over and picks him up?
Yeah, that's always a big one, isn't it? Usually, there's a quarterback whisperer somewhere. And what I mean by that is, whether it's an assistant coach, whether it's one of his best friends on the team, someone that can get in his ear, get with him and say, all right, well, man, what do you need? What's going on here? So he's one person he can lean on. He's going to have to lean on that guy right now.
Second down now after the pass completion.
Set, lady.
Time running out here on the play clock. Stafford. Got a man over the middle, and it's complete. A really good pickup of 28 yards. And a good quarterback facing zone coverage. If he has just a little bit of time to survey the scene, that's what's going to happen.
No doubt about it. If there's no pressure, he's going to continue to pick them apart because he'll have all...
Oh, no, he lost the football. And it's complete to Martin. It's picked up by the Broncos. And Denver getting set to take the field. Last time they were out, they scored. Still trailing here, though, so some work to do.
But it's okay in terms of mindset. Because they scored the last time, they're not quite as worried about being down on the scoreboard because now their confidence is a little bit higher. They feel like they got something going, and they feel like they can attack again and put more points on the board.
Are you scoreboard watching if you're the offense, or are you just focused on this drive?
We wouldn't be telling the truth if we said that they didn't scoreboard watch. Everyone does it to some extent, but you've got to set it aside right now and just focus on this series. That'll take care of the scoreboard if they punch it into the end zone.
Offense comes to the line now, 1st and 10.
Let's go. 3-19.
He's back to throw. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete. Second down following the incompletion.
Well, that plays a statistic that's going to go on the defensive team stat sheet. Won't necessarily reflect in ours, right, the overall game sheet. But you and I know that they keep count on pressures, hits on quarterbacks, all those things, hoping to increase that throughout the game. And here we are in the 4th quarter, and they got a big one.
And such a close game, a very big one. They'll look to throw. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
Well, any caused incompletion is good for a defense. But when you add to it that you get a little hit on the quarterback, knock him to the ground, make him think a little bit, hopefully knock him off his game, especially in a game of this magnitude, this tight in the 4th quarter, got to feel pretty good as a defense.
And he just chucked that one out of bounds, out of everyone's reach. Maybe a wise call not to take a sack in this part of the field. It brings up 3rd down.
It's a tried and true formula, and I don't think it'll change for as long as we play football. If someone's trying to throw the ball and you can put pressure on them and make it tough, that's only going to help your defense.
Yeah, he's since being hurried. He got rid of it before taking the hit, but incomplete. And now it looks like they're going to be in the hurry-up. Back to throw. And this is caught for a Bronco touchdown. Deshaun Jackson, his first touchdown on the year. And the Broncos have taken the lead here in the 4th quarter. It's up and good to make it 21-17.
Now, that was an impressive drive. But I think we're going to talk about being way more impressive because of who led them. A rookie quarterback in that spot, putting his team in front, that's big league.
And in hindsight, probably should have stayed where he was, as he'll only get back to the 16-yard line. And the Buccaneers getting ready to go as they take the field. They're down here in a one-score game, but the time, it's a factor, but it's not a huge factor right now, is it?
It's really not, because this amount of time gives them a chance to run their offense, to go through play sequences. And this is what they work on every week in practice, usually on a Friday. They go over this type of a situation, late game situation. What are we going to do when we have the opportunity? They've called these plays a bunch of times. Now's their chance to execute them.
They have the opportunity now. Here's the execution. That one goes for 24 yards. So after that big play, let's see if they can catch their defense maybe on their heels. They got exactly what they wanted there. Out route, catch, get out of bounds, stop the clock.
And I have to criticize defense here because you know the situation. You want to keep them inbounds and have the clock run. So I'm sitting on the outside portion of the field and not letting them throw an out route. Throw anything inside and I'll make the tackle. An out route? That's not the way you're supposed to play it.
Back to throw. Completion left side to Miller. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. And they're going to hurry back to the line now. He'll look to throw. Over the middle to Smith. And he'll be a little shy of the 25 here at the 26-yard line. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. And he can't get a throw away. He's taken down. Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. That'll leave them with just 1 remaining in this 4th quarter of play. Now Stafford. And that is incomplete. Down to 15 seconds now.
It looked like they had something there, but I think that he was thinking about running with the football before he actually hauled it in, and that led to a big drop.
Desperation time for Stafford on 4th down. And he's brought down. Can't do anything with a football. It's a sack and a turnover on downs.
Everyone gears up for 3rd down, talks about the importance of it. But 4th down, that's truly the moment of truth play, isn't it?
Everything's dialed up a little bit more. And, it's such a momentum play, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Now, hang on here. Timeout called by the defense. It'll be their 3rd and final timeout, so as they talk things over, we'll step aside. The win for the Broncos, seemingly assured. They go down to a knee. Well, Charles, the forecast called for rain throughout the entire game, and we got rain throughout the entire game. But these 2 teams, they had fun getting dirty out there. They love the slop.
Did you trust the forecast ahead of time? Are you one of those guys that's skeptical about it, or did you trust it?
But when I saw just a big blob of green on the radar, I said, okay, let's trust.
Yeah, and that's why I'm glad you took my advice. Get your notes laminated, because, open-air booth, that rain can affect us as well, although not as much as the guys on the field. But let's face it, it's kind of fun to watch these types of games, isn't it?
It is. By the way, how impressive is it that you travel with a laminator? I didn't even know there was a portable laminator.
The things that you learn.
Golly, wise beyond his years. So for Denver, it'll be a 500 start as the win gets them back to 2-2. And they'll head back home next week to take on the Atlanta Falcons. Meanwhile, for Tampa Bay, they'll drop down to 1-3. And they'll be on the road next week for a matchup with the Carolina Panthers. So that'll do it for us. For my partner, Charles Davis, and all the hard-working men and women on our crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL right here on EA Sports. With that, we say so long from Tampa.